Yeah, give me one of them big boy burgers and one of them giant diet drinks and a large French fry. Hi, today on the Corvette we're going to see if we can get these power windows going up and down. That one over there on the driver's side, it goes up and down, but the regulator's so loose and sloppy, it needs a regulator. This one, you know, fits kind of okay. And down here, we got the power window motor, and I've unhooked this and I've hot wired it to see if it's going to go up and down. And it goes up and down, but man, it draws so many amps you could probably weld with it. It's a big old arc when you hook the jumper wire up. So this one, we'll just take apart and oil everything up and see if we can loosen it up and get it to work. The other one, we're going to put a new regulator in and probably a new motor. Then we'll do the same with this after we take it apart and oil it up. Probably end up buying a new motor and a new regulator. Anyway, let's get started on that other side. So here we are on the driver's side, and I guess you roll the window up and there's two holes here about after you get the window up, and you go through and you take some bolts or screws out and the window glass comes out. And then I guess there's more screws or bolts somewhere, and then the regulator comes out. Well, that don't sound right. I don't think that's even all the way up. If we can't get it all the way up, I don't know how we're going to get the window out. Well, through there, I think I see the window glass on. But I don't know about over here. Dark in there. Yeah, maybe there. There's one there, maybe. Oh, this looks... what a deal. I don't know. Take that out and see what we got. That's all we can do. Sometimes I think the fellers that think of this stuff and how to make it should work on it before they make it. It's going to take the U-joint and everything. Yeah, U-joint for your... Yeah. Well, what might work on there? Ooh. Well, it's coming apart, I think. Socket in the door of a Corvette. Okay, there's one. You know, I don't think that's what we're supposed to take off. Maybe it is. I don't know. There's supposed to be an anti-rattle clip here. Yeah, we're going to have to back this off too. This is supposed to give us enough room to move the window around. We'll see what happens. This is the other anti-rattle clip. All the felt's gone off of it. It's really amazing this window isn't totally just scratched up, but it couldn't have got scratched up because it won't go up or down. Anyway, this still doesn't look like it's gonna come apart. I guess. Keep on digging. Hopefully we don't break a Corvette window today. Now, according to all the experts, this should come off of here now. This sure don't look like it's coming off of here now. Well, I don't know. I'll have to get the flashlight out and look around in there. I'll let you know when I figure it out. So got it out of there, and the big part of the problem was this nut come off easy, but the track down in there, right here, the hole that little stud was poked through, it did not want to come out. I had to pry on enough, I thought I was going to break the glass. Then the other big problem was this stuck roller. This is supposed to turn on here, and it fits a track, this one, right here, that it's real obvious. You probably can't see it on camera because it's dark down in there. There, maybe you can see it now. Anyway, there's a track right here, and what holds that roller in I just showed you is this goes down inside of that track, and that's the stopper. This is an adjustment for how far the window goes up. So when we go back together, we'll have to adjust on that. So now I'm going to work on getting the regulator and that motor out of there. I'd have never in a million years thought all of that would have come through that hole there, but it did. And the trick to it is this is what the window essentially bolts to, and it goes across these two rollers, there and there. And anyway, after you get your window out, you can tip this up inside the door like this, just pull it out, and then the rest of this will fall out. Here's the old regulator beside the new regulator, and a lot of what went wrong with the old regulators, these rollers, they are just as stuck as can be. They won't even hardly turn. And these new ones, look at that, they're just as free as can be. And this one has a plastic bushing in here, whereas this one was just metal on metal. If this wasn't so swapped out, we could probably lube these rollers up and clean them and get them working again, and this regulator would work again. But we could peen on this and try and tighten it, but you know, it's just not worth the trouble, and it's just going to get loose right away again. This is the bolt of death, I guess, because if you take this bolt out without a window motor on it, that big spring there goes twang and tries to cut your finger off. So where this old one won't move, we'll just have to watch our fingers, because I don't think we're going to get the bolt in it. Alright, there's some stuff about older from the 80s and 70s and probably 60s General Motors window motors I figured I'd tell you about. Now you see we got two wires on there, and you think 2 wires is enough to make it work, right? Let's see if it'll work. I'm going to hit the window switch. Look at that, she's working. But if I take this jumper wire off, no more work. It won't run. The reason for that is these older GM cars, those wires run up and through here and over through the dash and right into the window motor. They didn't use any relays. And these window motors, you'd think, you know, put power here, put ground here, it goes up, and then you'd think you'd reverse that and then it would go down. But that's not the way these work. They ground through the frame of the motor, and one wire's up and one wire's down. So if you go to test on one of these and you want to hook jumper wires up and you hook power to one and ground to the other, you're going to get a surprise. It's just ground and up or down. There's no reverse in polarity. There's one wire for up and one wire for down. So keep that in mind. So I also got new whisker strips for the window. You know, these nice little seals that make something look nice when the window's in there and this goes against the window. Anyway, the way these go in is there's a stainless piece here that if you get the new strips, don't wreck the backing piece, because you don't get a new one of those. And this just fits in there like that, and as you can imagine, those little knobs fit in there. And then you can bend these tabs over somewhat to help hold it in place. And watch out, because there's screws that some go through the felt, like this one. That's where a screw goes through the felt. And these places here, no screws go through the felt. So we'll throw that on while the window's out, because, you know, over here on the shotgunner side, that's what they look like when they're bad. And I don't think the window goes down enough to actually get this out to put the new whisker strip in. So we better do that now too. Okay, window regulator is in. The bolts are cinched down. I got this new whisker channel put on. Those little knobs, they snap into the door. So you got to kind of come through and like use a wood dowel and a hammer in some of them and give them a little tap. I don't know if it looks this way on camera, but that mirror, it leans in too much. It needs to come out this way to look right to me. And I'm hoping the gasket under there, somebody just had it off and put the gasket on the wrong way. So I'm going to take that mirror off and check the gasket out, and then I'm going to wash this window up and we'll put it in. We got to get this roller rolling smooth, because that's what was wrong with the regulator. It was mostly, other than the wore out spot, was all these stuck rollers. So update, this mirror gasket in fact was on the wrong way. One side, this side is much thicker than this side. So if I flip this around and put it up, that will lean the mirror out and make it look right. And also the mirror was only held on with one nut. And in the process of trying to get that mirror off of there, this piece here fits down inside the door. It had to come out to get out of the way of getting that nut off the mirror. The only one that was holding it on. But inside of this is just full of grunge and dried out grease and oil and dirt and probably graphite and anything they could think of to put on there to get the window going up and down easier. So we'll get this cleaned up too, and then put the mirror back on with all the hardware that's required, and stick this back down in the door, and then get the window put in there and see if it goes up and down good. So sometimes the dumbest things happen to you. I was cleaning this window track up with the wire wheel, getting in there and getting all that crud off. And I got out on here on the end, and she grabbed and she went around the corner and she whacked that piece right there, and she just bent over like that. It just bent over like that. So it's about ready to break off. So, you know, now for today, instead of putting the window back in the Corvette and having dreams of picking up cheeseburgers because the window goes up and down, I can go through the drive-through. Now, instead, I'm going to be lining this back up and very carefully trying to weld that back together with the wire feed. Let's go see if we can make that happen. So in the process of getting it over to the vise that's closer to the welder, that little piece busted all the way off. So, you know, typically with stuff like this, what I end up doing is you can clamp a vice grip on here and hold it on there where you want it, and just get a little tack weld started and hope it was lined up when you make fusion. Or you can just hold it with your fingers and, you know, burn yourself and cuss. But I'll put this camera on a tripod and drag the welder over here, and I guess we can see if we can weld this back together. Great. Need more heat. Maybe. And once you get that tack, you can, you know, adjust on it a little. Yep. There we go, a little grinder action, and that'll be as good as ever. Alright, here we go. This window's either going back in or gonna get broken. How did this even come out of here? Really? Who thinks of this stuff? Go around and then past and then come back? Boy, you could break something if you're not careful. Oh shit. Like for real. How are you supposed to get that down in here? Oh, now we're gonna wreck our new stuff. That's sticking out. That ain't helping nothing. This is kind of ugly. This will work it around the edge here. Get that down in there. Go down there. Oh. That must be why nobody puts those new seals on the outside of their door. Come on. Come on. Just get down in there. Oh, oh! Well, that's one step closer. Now I think we just gotta line the holes up in the ow, finger window track, maybe, I don't know. Oh, there's one bolt hole lined up. I'm gonna sneak a nut on that before it gets away. Now I just gotta wiggle the front end, so I'll turn the camera back on for you when I get the front done. Yeah, give me one of them big boy burgers and one of them giant diet drinks and a large French fry. There we go. We got the cheeseburger window going up and down. I still don't have the door latch working though. But I can do this. So anyway, if I can get out, let me out. Man, I'm not Dukes of Hazzard in this. The floor's all slick with paint. Ow. Anyway, the window goes up and down, but if you look at that door over there, there's a bunch of, well, somebody painted all the rust for me so you can't see it. But there's a bunch of adjustments for this window, and we can't adjust any of those adjustments for the window because I have absolutely no weather stripping anywhere. So we'll get some weather stripping screwed on there and glued on there, and then we'll make a video about how you adjust the window. But that's it for get your cheeseburger window working. Thanks for watching.
Just jump to the, oh, yeah.